Welcome to the much anticipated, long awaited rum cocktail video. I've been wanting to make this one too, let me tell you. But the as we thought about it, as Patty and I thought about it, we realized a couple of things. First of all, we have a good handful of rum drinks that we like. And if I make all of those for you now, that's going to end badly because I'm going to drink them once they're done. At least I get to share them with Patty, who's running the camera for me now. So this is the first. There'll probably be at least two, maybe three of these videos as we work our way through a few rum drinks. I've got two for you today, and they're related. And the first is really where I think everyone ought to begin with mixing cocktails, and certainly with rum cocktails, and that's the classic. That's the daiquiri. And if you've heard of a daiquiri and you think of a daiquiri and you think it's some sort of fruity blended concoction, a Slurpee with rum, perhaps, yeah, you can do that. But a classic daiquiri is a 3-ingredient cocktail, and they really don't get any simpler than that, but it's a wonderful place to begin. First of all, because it's simple, but it's got those basic ingredients, and you can play with those ingredients a bit to see how they work within the drink. So a daiquiri is the recipe is very, very simple. It's 2 ounces of rum, 1 ounce of lime, and 1 ounce of simple syrup, and you can play particularly with those last 2 ingredients. You can have more lime or less lime, or typically it's the syrup that you play with. Sweeten it up a little bit more, take some of the syrup out, and make it a tartar drink. But it's very easy to adjust to taste. I'm going to have Patty pause because I've left the lime squeezer downstairs, and so I'm back. I won't spend much time talking about the bar setup. We've got Boston 10s, shaker 10s, these are called. Those are useful. There's another style called a cobbler's 10, and that will work for you as well. Before we came down here, we simply used a glass, a Collins glass, much like this, and then we had a plastic glass from one of the tourist shops here, Puerto Rico, plastic glass, and we would kind of put them together and shake with that. That worked just fine. If you do this, you haven't got shakers, you can use something like a plastic and a glass and a glass, and as long as they will nest like that, you'll be just fine. This, however, is indispensable. You really want this citrus squeezer is going to help you out. So, what we're going to want here, a little bit of ice in our tin. I'm going to make a couple of these at once. One for me and one for Patty, who's working so hard.
Thank you.
So, the recipe for a daiquiri is 2 ounces of rum, 1 of lime, and 1 of syrup. We like ours a little tart. Patty more so than I. So we'll reduce the syrup a smidgen. Okay, into our 10, 2 ounces of lime, since we're doubling it up. This is a rich, simple syrup. So if you make this at home, which we did, Patty made this for us last night. By volume, 2 parts of sugar to 1 of water. And for a daiquiri, just white rum. Take your pick. This is actually Don Q. But we've got a handle of that, and we refill this because I'm at the pour spout. So. And then we shake. And then without straining, this is called a dirty pour. Two classic daiquiris. You can garnish with lime. The way that you garnish a drink, in this case, a twist is the peel, and you would express the oil in the glass and rub the peel on the glass, or you can garnish with either a wedge or a slice. And the difference between the two is whether it's expected you to squeeze more lime and add more lime into your cocktail or not. So if you had a cocktail where you wanted the person drinking it to be able to add more lime to it, you'd give them a wedge. Otherwise, floating a slice, dunking a slice, or floating a slice here simply says to the person drinking the cocktail, hey, expect some lime in this. Anyway, I'm going to let Patty put the camera down. We're going to enjoy our daiquiris. Okay, we're back. Those were delicious. They were really, really good cocktails. The sugar in them is necessary, right? And my guess is I'm not telling you anything. It's sort of like the salt in bread. You got to have some in there, and the reason for that is it'll take the tartness, the acidity of that lime, and actually mellow it and brighten it in a lot of ways. And so, again, the wonderful thing about a daiquiri, if you're just starting out making cocktails, is you get to play with those proportions a bit and see how the nature of the cocktail changes. And it's just it's a simple, classic, lovely cocktail. Daiquiri, great place to start. Having said that, what I'm going to make now is, I think, hands down, my favorite rum drink. And it's a variation on the daiquiri. It's known as the Hemmingway Daiquri. And I don't know whether this is true or not. If you get into cocktails, there are all kinds of books written about this stuff, all kinds of lore. Apparently, Hemingway, when he was in Havana, decided he didn't care for the regular daiquiri, and so he wanted his own version. But my understanding is his version was double the rum. And I think, in fact, they called it the papadoble, essentially, double everyone. But this is not what we're doing. I think Hemingway just liked his rum. The Hemmingway Daiquiri is essentially, it's much the same. It's rum, lime, sugar, but it has a couple of minor additions to it. A little bit of grapefruit juice and a little bit of Luxardo's Maraschino liqueur. And this stuff is, oh my goodness, it's fantastic. An Italian liqueur, and Italian liqueurs are as a rule very flavorful. And with the Maraschino, Luxardo Maraschino, just a little bit's going to go a long ways. It's a cherry liqueur, but it's not a sweet cherry liqueur, and it's just it adds as well. It's an extraordinary flavor. So The recipe for the Hemmingway Daiquri is 1.5 ounces of rum, let me see, 1.5 ounces of rum, an ounce. I've got to check this. Okay. So the recipe for a Hemmingway Daiquri is 1.5 ounces of rum, 3/4 of an ounce of lime, half of syrup. Largely the same kinds of proportions as a regular daiquiri, and then just 1/4 ounce of that Luxardo Maraschino and 1/4 ounce of grapefruit. And we'll shake it and pour as before. Gonna do the dishes.
Wait, I want to see.
Patty's zooming while I do the dishes.
Yep.
Ready?
Ready. Thank you.
Done. All right. So, once again, a little bit of ice in our tin. And let's start with the syrup. 1/2 ounce of syrup. Because I'm making 2, I'll double that to 1 ounce. Three-quarters of an ounce of lime, doubling that to 1.5 ounces.
Math is hard.
Not yet. We have a few more of these. It will be. We go through a lot of limes. That's why we moved to Puerto Rico, so that we could grow our own limes. All right. Give us the lime. Oh. New bottle of grapefruit. I'm having trouble opening it. Do not try this at home. I only do that because I have a nurse working the camera.
She's
a wound
off,
care nurse.
off duty.
You're retired too. All right, 1/4 of an ounce of grapefruit juice.
Times 2.
Doubling that means 1 ounce.
Okay, Barbie.
And the same, 1/4 of an ounce of Luxardo,
Mm-hmm.
double to half.
What color is the Luxardo?
It's clear. I'll show you.
No, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
And it's delicious. Patty has said it tastes, what was it you said? It tastes something like old books packed in dry wood or something, right? I mean, there's a
Yes.
sort of,
Uh-huh.
of odd, dry, dusty, woody taste to it.
But,
But, yeah, and as awful as that sounds,
except for bibliophiles.
oh yeah, right. In the cocktail, just a little bit goes a long way, and it's an extraordinary taste. So,
It enhances.
oh. Did I mention this is my favorite rum drink? Which means, lastly, the rum. 1.5 ounces of rum, doubled is 4.
Stop it.
Okay, well, I talked about the Papa Doble. He liked his rum. 1.5. 1.5. Okie doke. We shake and the magic happens. That's what we shake this time. Here we go. All right. More ice in our rocks glasses. We just got these. Patty found them on Amazon, and because we're on a concrete rooftop terrace, we got acrylic glasses. Safety first. I'll edit that out. Here we go.
Whoopa.
Indeed. Whoops. All right, the Hemmingway Daiquri, my favorite rum drink of all rum drinks. Salud.